Hi, I'm Mark Cullen with a do-it-yourself video library explaining how to build a rain garden. This video is produced by Landscape Ontario and Park Lane Landscapes. In this video, we begin to explore the steps involved in designing a rain garden for your own property. The first step is to size the rain garden. To do this, you'll need the following information: the size of your roof, the number of downspouts draining from your roof, and your soil type. To calculate the size of your roof, multiply the length of your house by its width. This footprint of your house can be measured in square feet or meters. Next, take a walk around your house and count the number of downspouts. You'll then need to decide how many of these downspouts will be directed to the rain garden based on their location. To understand the soil type on your property, perform a simple test. Dissolve a handful of soil in a jar of water. Let it settle for 24 hours. Clay will settle to the bottom, sand will form the second layer, and organic matter will float on the top. The thickest layer will indicate the type of soil that you have. Enter these three pieces of information: the square footage of your house, the number of downspouts you're directing to the rain garden, and the soil type into the Park Lane Rain Garden Calculator. You'll find this by logging on to parklanelandscapes.ca. Now that you've determined the size of your rain garden, you can begin to design it. Considerations for design are its location, its distance from the house, try to keep it away from any structures by at least 6 feet, buried utility lines, and be sure to have your property surveyed for location of lines. Visit ononecall.com for further information. Also, existing plant materials and vegetation need to be considered, existing slope of the area, and the style of your rain garden. The most traditional or common type of rain garden is the simulated wetland rain garden. To build this type of rain garden, create a depression and fill the depression with a sand-soil mixture and lots of water-loving plants. The surface can then be mulched. Another common rain garden style is the scree rain garden. When building this type of garden, you'll once again create a depression, but this time it will be filled with clear stone. A layer of geotextile is required to keep this stone clean. Geotextiles are permeable fabrics which, when used in association with soil, have the ability to separate, filter, reinforce, protect, or drain. The surface can be covered with decorative gravel or a combination of different types of gravel. It's also possible to create a combination of simulated wetland and scree rain garden by mixing the area with both types of materials.
So what we did here was we actually calculated the downspout that we were going to be taking the water from and the square footage of the section of roof that we were using. And we put in a curved pebble bed with edge restraints on either side of it, and it fell over top of a small little decorative wall that we built into a simulated wetland rain garden. And then from there, any overflow went into another rain garden, which was a scree rain garden. So on the small property, we were able to actually demonstrate two very different kinds of rain gardens.
So we'll be ripping all the sod that you see, creating a garden area, and then bordering all of our rain gardens with a rockery, just to sort of contain that mixture, whatever it may be, either the simulated wetland mixture or our scree mixture. They will all be contained from the grass or garden outside of that. We've done a lot of the hardscaping off to the side there. We needed to start with that to sort of give us our guidelines for heights and the way we really wanted this to look overall. In the first pit, that's going to be a simulated wetland, so it's not going to be as deep as the second pit. It's only going to be about 6 inches deep, and we're going to be making that a sand soil mix, so it holds a lot of moisture. Water above and beyond its capacity will then fall into the next pit, which is going to be about 1.5 feet deep. And these two pits' depths were sort of determined based on the average waterfall in the area. Our first about 6 inches of both holes were pretty good topsoil. So instead of throwing that soil out, we've saved that soil and we're going to be using it in the gardens, amending it slightly with some richer manure, but still kind of maintaining that topsoil. Then when we hit our clay layer, we don't really want that soil. It's too hard. It doesn't absorb water very well, so we're going to get rid of that. We've hit a very large root from the maple tree behind me, and rather than just getting rid of it, It's the perfect place for a root to be, because especially a maple root, because it needs a lot of water. So now we're basically letting that root sit right in where there's going to be a nice pool of water every time it rains. We're directing our downspout into the stream behind me. All it is currently is an aluminum 4-inch edge star, and then we're using a weed barrier, which is a geotextile. Most of that water from that downspout is going to shoot right through that trough into our rain gardens and not really go into the soil very much, but some might seep in depending on how heavy the rain is and how long it lasts. It's going to look full of soil on the outsides, and then on the inside it's going to have a river rock. So it's going to look very decorative, and still allow a fairly good flow of water. That's why we're choosing a larger stone of river rock rather than a smaller decorative like pea gravel or something where water takes a little bit longer to get through it. We want that water to flow quickly right into our rain garden. It never looks right until those plants go in. It always makes the hardscaping look that little bit better. It makes it all very thought out, like you see the end picture much better.
Bioswales are another type of rain garden. With this type of garden, you can create a simulated wetland or a scree garden. The main difference is that it allows for a directional flow. Another interesting garden design is a vertical rain garden. In this design, the back or base of the wall or staircase will be made of clear limestone. Stormwater is directed towards the wall or the stairs and is filtered, cooled, and slowed down as it flows through. In our next video, we'll start to construct a couple of these rain gardens.